Good evening. I'd like to call to order the Cumberland School Committee meeting at the Cumberland High School Transitional Building on Thursday, May 8th, 2025 at 7:02 p.m. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Ms. Feather,
Second.
second by Ms. Shea. All in favor?
Aye.
That passes 6-0. Please note for the record that Mr. Bacon is absent this evening. Consent agenda. Approval of minutes for the regular meeting on 4/24/25, executive session meeting on 4/24/25, transportation report 5/1/2025, enrollment report 5/1/2025, residency truancy report 5/1/2025, school bus inspection reports 4/8/2025 and 4/24/2025. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Ms. Smith, second by Ms. Goldstein. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes 6-0. Ms. Strezak, personnel announcements?
Hi, good evening. I have one appointment this evening, effective May 5th, 2025, Alfonso Sepulveda, paraprofessional 1-to-1 at McCourt. And I have one resignation, effective June 30th, 2025, Nicole Machado, clerical assistant, special education at the high school.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Report out of executive session meeting. Report out of executive session meeting on 5/8/2025. Report out of executive session votes. There were no votes taken this evening. Vote to seal the minutes of executive session. Do I have a motion to seal the minutes?
Motion to seal.
Motion by Ms. Smith,
Second.
second by Ms. Shea. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? That passes 6-0. Dr. Thornton, superintendent's report?
Good evening, Madam Chair. First up, it is Teacher Appreciation Week, if you haven't already heard, and I just want just a lot of gratitude to our teachers. Teaching now more than ever is an incredibly difficult job. It's my privilege to work with our teachers. They truly are fantastic, so I couldn't be happier being here in Cumberland with our teachers. They're great. Having said that, it's also the time of year where we select our Teacher of the Year. And before I identify the winner for this year, I want to just give a shout out to the nominees from the various buildings for Teacher of the Year. First, at Garvin, it was Carol LaValle. At Cumberland Hill, it was Maria Paez. At Community, it was Andrea Friedland. Cumberland High School, it was Carol Cardoso. Ashton, it was Nora Swartout. NCMS, it was Kim Rafferty. And McCourt, it was Chris Fernandez. So that leaves one building. If I could call up the principal of B.F. Norton, we're going to announce the Teacher of the Year from B.F. Norton.
Sure.
Mike, hit the slide.
This year's Teacher of the Year is Rosanna Santana, who's our MLL specialist at BF Norton. Mrs. Santana is a remarkable MLL teacher who goes above and beyond to ensure that every student in her classroom and in this school receive the support and resources they need to thrive academically and socially. Her commitment to fostering an inclusive and equitable learning environment is commendable. Through personalized instruction and culturally responsive teaching, Mrs. Santana helps her MLL students to embrace their unique identities to be academically successful. As an MLL specialist, Rosanna works with all grade levels. Rosanna demonstrates profound understanding of the diverse needs of students, creating differentiated instruction for all grade levels. She always considers their needs and meets them where they are. Rosanna is always available to meet with all the MLL teachers in the school and listen to their needs whenever called upon. Whether she is contacting Spanish-speaking parents and translating for VF Norton, organizing the access testing, or simply being an advocate for our MLL students and teachers, she does this without hesitation. Her unwavering passion for all MLL students and families is evidenced through her willingness to always help a student or family in need. Beyond her role as teacher, Mrs. Santana serves as a passionate advocate for students and their families. She recognizes the importance of building strong partnerships between home and school, and actively engages families in their child's education. Whether it's offering a listening ear, facilitating translation services, or providing individualized support, Mrs. Santana ensures that every family feels valued and supported through their time at BF Norton. Rosanna has been an invaluable member of our district team for many years. At monthly district MLL meetings, Rosanna often shares important information with colleagues, and she has been a leader in rolling out the district's communication platform, talking points, creating and delivering professional development for educators in her school, as well as for building and district leaders. Rosanna is not only an outstanding educator, but also a dedicated student and family advocate, as well as a catalyst for positive change through her commitment to professional development. Her unwavering passion, empathy, and leadership make her a deserving candidate for the Teacher of the Year. Thank you.
And now we have this plaque to present to Ms. Santana. Cumberland School Department 2025 District Teacher of the Year, presented to Rosanna Santana in recognition of your inspirational actions and excellence in educational leadership. And she goes up on our wall of fame, so she'll be on the wall, so here going forward. So,
I actually did write a little something. Is that okay? Okay. I don't. This thing is gonna land on me. Please. I promise I didn't write a lot. It's just that I'm very blind, so I need to make it really, really big. Okay. I am so honored and humbled to receive this award. Those of you closest to me know that I get very nervous when I have to do public speaking or when attention is on me. But I wanted to share, am I being loud enough? Okay. But I wanted to share a few thoughts. I would like to thank Sandy, first of all, for nominating me and for all the support this year. I am forever in your debt. I will also like to thank my whole BF family. You guys are absolutely amazing, and I lost my spot already. And my MLL team, the dedication and passion you put into our school for the betterment of our kids is truly inspirational. Thank you for that. I also wanted to thank my husband and my daughter for putting up with me, for their support, love, and understanding. So my daughter, Annika, thank you for understanding when mommy has to work late and can't put you to bed because I have school work or a meeting or I'm on the phone with a parent. Thank you for your unconditional love. Mommy loves you more than words can say. I would like to share a little bit about myself for those of you who truly don't know me. This is something that I share with my students every year. I tell them a little bit about my story to kind of make a connection. I tell them how I came to the United States when I was 12 years old without being able to speak English. Like many students who come to the United States, I also struggled with the idea of learning English, the English language, because I felt like I was betraying my first language. It took me a while, but I finally embraced learning English with all my heart. And I thought I was doing a pretty good job until a professor very boldly said to me that I should attend a vocational school because I was not fluent enough. After a lot of crying and feeling like I wanted the whole world to swallow me whole, my grandmother reminded me that she did not raise a quitter. I decided to become a teacher. I wanted students who look like me and who sound like me to know that if I was able to accomplish this, so could they. And they would then have the confidence and accomplish so much more, as well as become whoever they wanted to, regardless of where they came from or their linguistic abilities. Since I started at Cumberland School Department, I became an advocate for all students, particularly for MLL students and their families. My experience as a learner are not just mine alone. Many students today have similar experiences as I did. I have been part of district and state conversations on how to best support our students. On many occasions, I say what everyone else is thinking, but won't say. This, of course, gets me into a lot of trouble. Sorry. I have had to learn to be patient without compromising the end goal. This is something that Mr. DeMana taught me as my unofficial mentor. Thank you for that. Our district MLL population has significantly grown in the past 16 years, and thankfully, our administration has taken note of it. So for that, I thank you. We thank you. So thank you again. We have added more personnel and resources to meet the needs of our learners. Thanks to this support, our students are flourishing. They are exiting the MLR program more rapidly than I have ever seen. And they are performing extremely well in state testing. Some instances outperforming other monolingual students. I am proud of the work I do. I cherish the relationships I have been able to build with our students and their families, as well as with colleagues. Thank you, guys. My hope is that we continue to work together to improve the learning of all students. Our strength as a district doesn't come from one or a few. It comes from a team of dedicated, passionate professionals that love students, and BF is a true testament to that. I will use this recognition to continue to support and advocate for our students. Thank you.
And also, just one last thing this year, she'll be going on now to the state level to compete for Teacher of the Year for Rhode Island. So that's her next step. All right, next up, I believe we have Ms. Lemieux is here to say a few words about perks.
I also hate this part. Good evening, my name is Tammy Lemieux, and I am the teacher within the Training Responsible Adults in Diverse Environments, which we lovingly call TRADE, program at the high school. As you probably know, the TRADE program supports students with disabilities who have completed graduation requirements, but who have stayed in the district to increase their vocational and independent living skills as recommended by their IEP teams. With me tonight is Cameron Corsi, who is actually in a lot of these pictures because she's sort of like the co-manager of Perks right now. She's doing a lot of work in Perks. So we are here tonight to thank Dr. Thornton and the school committee for their tremendous support of our program and the students in our other programs who will benefit from our amazingly remodeled kitchen. From the ovens to the reliable refrigerators, and to the newly tiled wall, which is just getting ready to be grouted this week sometime. It is awesome. Everyone who stops by is just amazed by what it looks like compared to where it was. And of course, where it was 25 years back when they first started the trade program. So, you know, we were at the stage where one oven worked, one didn't, one burner worked better than the other, you know that, when you're at your own house and you're ready for that remodel. We want to thank the facilities folks, Will and his crew. I'm not going to name them because I'm sure I'll forget at least one, have been amazing. Just like a home renovation, it seems like the tasks are never ending, but each week we can see the difference, and Will continues to answer my texts. So we must be doing okay. What makes it better is that all of the men who have helped in Perks Kitchen seem to be enjoying the transformation just as much as we have. I also want to thank the administration and the staff at the high school, as well as in our district offices, Mrs. DeStefani, for their continued support of the trade program. It is because of their generosity that the students have the opportunity to practice and utilize their skills on a daily basis. And as you can see from our pictures, we've been baking. We cook breakfast per order for teachers in the morning. We do use a Google form. They order. They give us a time that their prep is or whatever, and students are making that. Since we've gotten the renovation, we've started baking. And with the donations that we earn by baking, because we can't charge anybody, but they donate to us, we got our cherished blue, Clipper blue, stand-up mixer, which is like so exciting. The staff in our school, and now we're creeping over to the business office and everywhere else over here in community, have been amazing. If they stop by, they know all of the students' names. They help our students sort of develop those independent living skills, which is what we're looking for. Just talking to them in such an authentic way that it's so fun to watch. A recent donation from the Cumberland's Teachers Union has also allowed us to purchase new pots and pans in a Clipper blue color to match our mixer. The investment in this project has already been providing amazing opportunities. There is nothing better than the gathering students around our new island, right, Cam? The picture of Cam in the corner is the in-between before the countertop came. So we were so anxious to use our new stoves. We found a way to make a countertop, which is in the bottom picture. The investment has already been providing amazing opportunities. Our new island has been used to cut, dice, mix, and fold in those chocolate chips. We have also invited students from other programs to join us in our efforts. As I said, Cam is in Perks for a lot of the day right now because her out of her community-based internship is over right now. And so we invite others from some different programs to come in, and Cam helps mentor them and teach them where everything goes. In a time when we are seeing so many discriminatory practices, I am thankful that this committee and our leadership team have embraced inclusionary and supportive practices. We will cherish the opportunities in Perks for years to come. Thank you again.
Thank you, and the cookies are delicious. Thank you.
Next up, I have Mr. Crowley.
I highly recommend the banana chocolate chip muffins at Perks. They are absolutely fantastic. Oh, that's why you had two. Okay. Good evening. I'm here to speak about a young lady who has been here before athletically and as a part of student government, Rose Tomisto. Each school in the state of Rhode Island nominates student athletes for awards within the Rhode Island Scholastic League, including Student Athlete of the Year, and there are Service and Leadership Awards. And Rose was recognized 2 weeks ago at the Quonset Oak Club at a morning breakfast, along with 32 other student athletes from the state of Rhode Island. And Rose's Service and Leadership Award is because of her deep-rooted commitment to the Cumberland High School community. She is part of student government, as we said. She also was at one of the founding people of our Kyle Cares, our Active Minds chapter for mental health. 2 weeks ago, we had an event in the cafeteria. It was spectacular. Rose created out of cardboard a wheel that if you spun, you got candy, you got advice, you got a positive word for the day. And we donated coffee connection cards instead of bag tags. And she's really been at the forefront. She's a prototypical student athlete here at Cumberland High School where, she's involved beyond the athletic field. It was a well-deserved award for you, Rose. So come on up and get recognized. Thank you. Rose Tomisto.
you. Okay, next up, we're going to talk about the school committee for a minute. So essentially, there are 36 districts in Rhode Island with school committees, and Cumberland is one of 3 districts to have our team fully trained or fully completed the 6 hours of training. It's really a testament to the dedication of the school committee. So, round of applause for the school committee. Also, Ms. Smith, the vice chair, has completed, that's wrong, it's not 75 hours. Actually, she's at 97 hours. So if she could come down here, I have an award for Ms. Smith. So this just essentially acknowledges Ms. Smith has taken part in RIASC Masters Academy, now with 97 hours to her credit. Congratulations. And now, before we close on this one, Ms. Smith has 2 more quick items for the school committee.
So part of what we have to do every year, and we're the only elected officials that do this, is we do have to do a minimum of 6 hours of training. Along with that training, there's certain steps in the Master Academy. I obviously wanted to do a lot of training so I can serve you better. Actually, I was just really bored. And there were a few of our other school committee members here who actually did multiple levels of training that went to a leadership academy as well. So that includes training on collective bargaining, rules and responsibilities, the new membership training that we have every single year, strategic planning, superintendent evaluations, things that we need to do on our job. And 2 of our school committee members, and I believe there were only 2 that were recognized this year from the Rhode Island Association of School Committees, Carrie Feather and Amy Vogel, have completed their leadership academy and want to recognize them as well.
And last but not least, we have a large contingent tonight from our Science Olympiad. So if I could have the Science Olympiad team come on up. You stand right in front while she
My name is Karen Kabatingen. I'm a science teacher at North Cumberland Middle School. And I'm only going to speak briefly because you are going to hear from a couple of the students tonight. But I'm going to give you a little background on the Science Olympiad and how it's grown in our schools. So I was first exposed to Science Olympiad when I was Amy's teacher at Lincoln High School back in 1996. And the Rhode Island Science Olympiad did start at Lincoln High School, but Cumberland, I didn't join the team at Cumberland until 2017. I started teaching, and I started with a small group of students, maybe 10 students, and then it grew the following year, and it grew the following year, and the kids raised in the ranks. They went higher and higher, starting off like my first year, 13th in the state, then 11th, then 3rd. And the past 4 years, North Cumberland Middle School has been 2nd in the state, and now we have 47 students that are interested. And that has traveled into the high school, and you'll hear from a couple of the high school students as well. So thank you for giving us this opportunity and welcoming us here today.
All right. Hello. Good afternoon. My name is Shivan Jha, and I'm an 8th grader at North Cumberland Middle School. I'm truly honored to be here today to share my experience as a member of the Science Olympiad team. I've been part of the NCMS Science Olympiad team since 6th grade and have competed for 3 years. Looking back, it's been one of the most exciting and rewarding experiences of my school time. Science Olympiad isn't just a club. It's a community of students who love science, who challenge each other to grow, and who come together to compete in a fun and engaging environment. We live in a world shaped by science and math, whether it's the technology we use every day or the sports we love, like baseball and basketball, or even the homes we live in. Science is the foundation for all the luxuries we enjoy today. That's why I believe it's so important for students to be introduced to it early, and Science Olympiad does that in about the coolest way possible. Each year, there are around 20 unique events that students can choose from. Most of us students will take on about 3 or 4 events, which fall into 3 main categories. So there's study events, build events, and lab events. In the study events are knowledge-based and involve learning a specific topic in depth based on a given syllabus, similar to how we would do in school. And so you would take a written test at the competition. And so one of my favorite study events was Disease Detectives, where we explored how infectious diseases spread and what can be done to prevent them. Build events are hands-on engineering challenges. I once competed in the bridge event, where I had to design and construct a bridge that could hold as much weight as possible while being extremely lightweight. So those, you use your hands and you make something before the competition and you bring it there and you present it there. And so lab events are a combination of both studying and applying science in real time. So lab events are a mix of study events and build events. And so in optics, for example, we used mirrors to direct light onto a randomized target, and so they would score you on how close you were. And so we also took a test on the physics behind how light works. So I don't know if you guys noticed it, there's a rainbow outside today. And so I was looking back, I was thinking, yeah, I remember learning about this, so that was cool. And so that kind of relates back to the idea that learning across these different areas has helped me better understand the actual world around me, and has inspired me to keep exploring science even further. I got to work closely with my teammates, learn from incredible coaches, and proudly represent NCMS in competitions. The main competition we prepare for is the Rhode Island State Science Olympiad, which takes place every April. If we win the Rhode Island Science Olympiad, we get to represent Rhode Island at the national level and compete in the national tournament. To get ready for the state competition, we participate in several invitational tournaments, such as the ones hosted by Harvard University and Brown University. And so these events are really cool because they attract some of the top teams in the country from states like Texas and New York, and they really help us see how we compare on a national level. Plus, they're also a lot of fun. It's really fun to walk around the campuses and meet other students who share the same passion of science. And so these competitions are also really intense, and sometimes can get really nerve-wracking, but they're also very exciting and incredibly rewarding. I'll never forget the rush of solving a tough problem under a lot of time pressure and thinking, hey, we've got this. And so Science Olympiad has made a huge impact on me, and I truly hope more students will have the same opportunity in the future. I respectfully ask the school committee to continue supporting this amazing program by keeping our team in mind if any grants or partnership opportunities become available. Your support means a lot to us. Thank you so much for your time and for supporting science education in Cumberland.
Hi everyone, my name is Saha. I'm a junior at Cumberland High School. So Shivan put it perfectly actually. Science Olympiad helps us understand the world around us in ways better than we would have seen normally in the school curriculum. This year is my and my partner's 6th year in Science Olympiad. We started in 6th grade in the middle school, and now we're juniors. And so we found that when we entered the high school as freshmen, Science Olympiad had not continued in the high school for about 10 years. And so Ms. Cab, who had instilled a love of science, a love of learning into us, we wanted to continue this. And with the help of our science department and science teachers, we were able to found the Science Olympiad Club once again in the high school. And it's been kind of a turbulent path. We started with 9 kids, all freshmen, who really didn't know how the high school level worked. So the difference between middle school and high school Science Olympiad is, while the structure and the events remain the same, the depth of knowledge that is acquired deepens over each year. So for example, in middle school we have an event called Crime Busters. it's entry-level forensics almost, looking at a crime scene, identifying seed samples or hair samples. However, in the high school, it's taken a step further. It's called forensics. It's much more deeper into where the fact that if someone was to major in this, this is information that they would be learning at the Science Olympiad competitions in order to prepare. And so for 9 freshmen, we had a bit of a struggle to learn and to get to a point where we wanted to be. That year, we ended 11th in the state standings. And however, we've seen that over the years as we've grown, the team has also grown in popularity. When middle schoolers are coming up to high school, when seniors are realizing, hey, this is a really cool way for us to learn science, the team has grown. So our sophomore year, the team grew to about 16 kids, 15 kids. And this was the first year we had a full team. In Science Olympiad, you can only have a full team of 15 kids. However, it was also really hard because we didn't really know where to start. And it was our first time, with the help of our teachers, trying to understand how to run this club. Another big thing that Science Olympiad has given to us is leadership. I know that I can speak for the both of us that with the help of our teachers, we've learned how to coordinate teams, how to sign up for these responsibilities and manage a whole team of kids out at Harvard University, Brown University during the day. And it's also given us those life skills that we will be using going forward. That year, we placed 5th at the state competition. That was our best achievement yet. And this year, the team has grown even more. We are 30 kids, exactly. It's a lot of middle schoolers, it's a lot of freshmen and sophomores who are coming in, enjoying science, and wanting to learn more and more. And with the help of our science department, many of our science teachers, we've only been growing more, and this year we were able to achieve 2nd at the state tournament. And this is the 3rd year that Cumberland High School has been competing for the past 10 years. And we're really proud of the team, especially because we've seen it go, and we're so thankful for the support that the school has given us as they've seen us go. And so we really just want to showcase how important we think that this is to high school students, to the community, and my partner will explain more about it.
Thank you. My name is Nirupama. I'm also a junior here, and I'm the co-captain along with Saha. And as she said, we started this in 9th grade, and since then, Science Olympiad at the high school has only gotten bigger. And because of that, we now need more support than ever, especially for next year, because we're looking forward to a lot more 8th graders coming in from the middle school. And we only have about 2 seniors leaving, so we are going to have like a huge team next year, more than 30 kids, which means that we're going to have more than 2 teams for our Science Olympiad. And so one of the challenges that we faced this year was being able to have weekly meetings. We have coaches who are definitely dedicated to helping us with Science Olympiad and helping us do as best as we can in the competitions, but they're also busy with their other responsibilities outside of school, and so sometimes they can't make the commitment to come stay after school every week and supervise these meetings. So it's hard for us to meet every week, and that was a big problem, especially at the beginning of the year. And it was really only maybe like a month before the state competition that we were able to have weekly meetings. And I think these weekly meetings are very important because they help keep our students motivated, and we can make sure that they're staying focused and they're studying, preparing for their events, which is all really important for us to actually succeed in Science Olympiad competitions. And especially because our goal next year, since we got 2nd this year, we want to do even better and hopefully get 1st. So to aim for that, I think that we really need to have weekly meetings starting from the beginning of the year so that we can keep students motivated and making sure that they're doing their best to prepare for these competitions. And one idea that we thought of this year was to do parent volunteers. We have a few parents who are interested in putting some of their time into Science Olympiad, staying after school for some of these meetings so that we can meet every week. And I think that would be really helpful, but unfortunately we weren't able to implement that this year. So it would be great if we could get the support of the school to help us have these parent volunteers come in and supervise us during those after-school meetings and give us a bit more support so that we can manage the 30-plus kids that we're going to have next year, and just help us overall do the best that we can and hopefully get first place next year. Thank you.
And they didn't mention that nationals are in LA next year, I believe. So they've got high, they've set their goals high.
Help us organize. Yeah. All right, and Madam Chair, that concludes my report tonight.
Thank you very much, Dr. Thornton. Wonderful things happen in Cumberland. Reports of standing committees. Fiscal Management Subcommittee update, Ms. Smith.
Thank you. The fiscal subcommittee did meet earlier this evening, and we do have some resolutions, and we also have payment of the bills that we will discuss a little further on in the agenda.
Thank you, Ms. Smith. Policy and Procedure Subcommittee update, Ms. Feather.
Hi there. We do have two policies that we'll be bringing forward in a little bit, and we'll be meeting again in another couple weeks. Thanks.
Thank you, Ms. Feather. Achievement and Communications Subcommittee update, Ms. Shea.
We did not meet, but hoping to get a date locked in by the end of the month.
Thank you. And District Health and Wellness Subcommittee update, Ms. Shea.
Yep, we actually met earlier this evening. We had discussed the study, of Project Strong that Dr. Christopher Hawk had participated with the district from Brown University. Project Strong was a survey conducted last year focusing on dating violence among middle schoolers here in Cumberland, and he had also announced an upcoming sexual health survey for 7th graders to be administered next school year. We also invited and encouraged members from each building to come and to tell us the health and wellness practices that each building is participating with. For example, BF Norton and Garvin will observe Mental Health Awareness Month starting next week. Astrid, the 5th graders, and some of the 2nd grade classes are participating in a Math and Move initiative. Community is focusing on a social and emotional learning and is planning a cultural event on May 16th. Chill will highlight different heritage during their Spirit Week, which is scheduled for the end of May. And CMS students are creating slideshows about their own heritages to be displayed in the school foyer, and discussions are underway about starting a diversity club next school year. And we also, during that meeting this evening, we had discussed a few of the updates that are going to be submitted over to the Policy and Procedure Subcommittee for review for the policy of the district.
Thank you, Ms. Shea. Public hearing, reading of amended policies, Ms. Feather.
Came up really quick. Yes, so reading of amended policies, we had the A5 Title IX protections from sex-based discrimination and the K6 textbook loans to students enrolled in non-public schools.
Do we have public comment on those two policies? No public comment? Do we have comments from the public on anything not related to those policies? Okay, no comments from the public. New business, discussion and or vote to approve homeschool instruction requests for the 2024-2025 school year. Can I have a motion to approve homeschool instruction requests?
Motion.
Motion by Ms. Shea,
Second.
second by Ms. Smith. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes 6-0. We have a vote on CTA contract MOA regarding stipends. Do I have a motion to approve CTA contract MOA regarding stipends? Motion by Ms. Goldstein? Second by Ms. Feather. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? That passes 6-0. Vote on CTA contract MOA regarding school psychologist reimbursement. Do I have a motion to approve the CTA contract on the MOA regarding school psychologist reimbursement?
Motion.
Motion by Ms. Shea, second by Ms. Goldstein. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes 6-0. Vote on ITSE MOA regarding dues collection. Do I have a motion to vote on the ITSE MOA regarding dues collection?
Motion.
Motion by Ms. Smith. Second by Ms. Shea. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes 6-0. Discussion and a vote to approve amended policies. 1A5 Title IX Protections from Sex-Based Discrimination. 2K6 Textbook Loans to Students Enrolled in Non-Public Schools. Ms. Feather?
Okay, so we've got these two, both of which passed our subcommittee meeting back in, I don't know, April? Something like that. Alrighty. And I know that there's been a lot of discussion around these policies. Let's take the easy one first, the textbooks. That is just restoring, text, what's the word I'm looking for? Textbook privileges, rights, loans to students that are Cumberland residents. That was something that we had in place in the past. There we go. I finally have it in front of me. So that was something that we had in place in the past. We had changed that policy, but it was not. It wasn't the change it needed to be. So we have now gone back to essentially the previous policy, saying that we will loan textbooks. Sorry, I'm very all over the place tonight. Alrighty, so there's that one. So yay, textbooks. The other one is the Title IX policy, and obviously that one I'm, anxious about. So back in 2020, oh wait, should I? Okay, thanks. Back in 2020, we had a policy in place much like the one that is being proposed tonight. When the federal government expanded their definitions around sex-based discrimination, we followed suit and incorporated that into our policy. However, there was a lawsuit in Kentucky recently that, in essence, changed what we're able to include in our policy, specifically changing the wording around sex-based harassment, which needed to be changed to sexual harassment or sex harassment. So we're being required to make those changes to bring this policy back to that language, so that also we do not lose our funding. I want to just state for the record, I'm not a fan of going backwards. I'm not a fan of providing less supports to people who need all the support that they can get. That being said, I would not in good conscience have been able to vote for this, as I did in our policy subcommittee meeting, if I believed that that is what we were doing. I believe that Cumberland has had a long tradition of being a place of acceptance and tolerance, and I don't believe that that's going to change. So I would like to put both of these, actually, so I'm gonna have to do one at a time, right? Mm-hmm. So let's start with the, we'll start with the Title IX, because I'm talking about it now, and then we'll go back to the textbook loans. So I would like to put forth the Title IX policy for motion.
Ms. Feather motions to approve the A5 Title IX protections from sex-based discrimination policy. Do I have a second? Second by Ms. Smith with discussion.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is a difficult policy for many people, and it's divided many people in their personal beliefs. I think the most important thing that we have to look at here is we are obligated to follow federal law, and from there, the state law. And as long as the state law includes all of the federal law, then they can add to it, but we can't take away from it. This is a court ruling that occurred, and it takes the sex discrimination, and it's solely on sex discrimination in Title IX. It takes that back to what it was originally, and the change is, yes, removing the words sex-based discrimination. This isn't to make any one particular group suffer. Rhode Island has an anti-discrimination law in place, and we follow that. This is not what is in Title IX. We're not talking about all the discriminations. We're talking about one particular topic. I do think it's very important that we point that out. There are other discrimination laws. We have other policies in place here that we do to follow federal and state laws, and we continue to do that. And a lot of the items that people wanted or thought were going to be in Title IX are in those other policies. So as much as some people may not like it, other people may want it, it doesn't matter. It's our job and our duty to follow the state and the federal laws, and that's what we're doing in making this adjustment after the court ruling. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Smith. Any other discussion? I have a motion by Ms. Feather, a second by Ms. Smith. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? That passes 6-0. Do you want to do a motion?
Oops, I just turned it off. Alrighty, so the second would be for, and again, I lost the one. Thank you. K-6 textbook loans to students enrolled in non-public schools. I would make a motion for us to approve that.
I have a motion by Ms. Feather. Do I have a second? Second by Ms. Goldstein. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? That passes 6-0. Discussion only, redistricting. Mr. Dean? Because you put on the agenda, so any discussion?
Yeah, how are we going to do it? Or are we going to do it? Right, we have to vote for it eventually, so it's not guaranteed. Yeah, I mean, I remember sitting in the audience listening to Dr. Thornton talk about when B.F. Norton comes online in 2027, it's going to be a whole town, I believe it was all elementary school redistricting, or was it all schools? Was it the middle schools also?
I talked back then about really a need for the middles to balance them. North's a little bit too big.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I talked about it really would make sense to look at taking some off of North and going to McCourt.
Yeah, so I mean, I just think it's better to get the conversation started now and you know, as opposed to a few months before trying to pile it all on. I'm not really the expert in it. I should have gone back and read and watched the meeting where you outlined it. I believe it was, we've been talking that there are going to be 255 additional seats at B.F. Norton. I think
175, I believe.
175. And was it Garvin is at its maximum, and Ashton's at its maximum, and community school is still over the maximum allowed students?
Community right now is a 4-track school here at the Trans. We tackled that a year early. If you go back in just back into like the 2020 timeframe, when construction plans were still first planned for community, if you recall back then, there was talk of doing 3 summer projects for a community. They're called summer slams. But as we got closer, we met with the team, with Aalborg and Colliers, and we realized that's probably not realistic. That's why we came to the committee, and we made the vote to make the change, and that really moved up the boundary change a year early. But yeah, so now community is right-sized. When they're done, it's a 4-track school like BF, so it's already been done in essence. They were in the mid to high 6s. Now they're in the 5s.
That's all, I guess.
Any other discussion on redistricting?
I would just add, I know sometimes people wonder, why should we ever change boundaries? We have a boundary and that should be it. In any town, people move in, people move out. It's going to create an imbalance over time. My experience has been with every 5 to 10 years, this is something you have to look at. It just happens. I know we have looked at it in elementary. The middles, we haven't, to be fair. It's been a long time since I think we've even had a discussion of middle school boundaries. But it really is something to look at. When you do get BF online, in terms of the when, you certainly, can start the discussions. I'd recommend, at the latest, you would really, start, the analysis in, summer, fall of '26. Do all the work, make sure you have the announcements. And talking to our attorney often, it's all about, giving people notice and time. That's why you do it over multiple months. You don't just, spring it on folks. You have a long process. So if you were to start it in summer, fall '26, you could have the work done by late fall and then, go from there.
Any other discussion? Ms. Smith?
Thank you. I think it's important to point out, I know that there's been a lot of discussion and there's been a lot of thoughts of we should be hiring a consulting company, we should be doing a lot of different things. I think it's important to show and reflect a couple of things that were done in our district. And there's a paper, it's 227 pages long. Again, I was bored, I read the thing and went through it. And it talks to primarily the impacts of redistricting and what happens. And Cumberland is a primary source throughout this paper from 2012, when we had to redistrict 430 elementary students. This is when the full-time kindergarten came online, and we had to make room and accommodations for the full day of kindergarten. So it was a substantial change. And I think the couple of the things that were done really well, and a couple of the things were missed. And after it went through it, there was a postmortem done. There were multiple groups of people put together between school committee members, administration, and local parents to go through and to look what needs to be done, how do we approach it. First and foremost, long planning, out there in the forefront, administration, advising on everything, putting together different groups with the public to go through and to make sure that the plans and the understanding are correct. Just a couple of the things, if I could, quick. So, some of the things we've already done, align the curriculum. We have that here in Cumberland, and our common planning time has shown how phenomenal that has been, and our scores are showing that year in and year out. So ascertain whether the school committee members are willing to support a redistricting. I think that it's prudent for all of us to really have a deep soul search on that, because it really is our job and responsibility to balance our classroom sizes so that the students get the best outcome that they can possibly get without having disparities due to overcrowding in classrooms. It's important that we start the process early. That is what we're doing here. As Dr. Thornton has said, he wants to look at the fall of 2026. And then we need to develop a clear, coherent, and database message. That's going to be important from the very beginning. All of us need to work on that. And again, I strongly urge that we put together groups with the public and expand and differentiate the core messages, involve parents in all of the fine tuning. All right, this is going to happen. We're not going to be able to stop it. We're not going to be able to say, well, we'll take your neighborhood off because we like you. That's just not going to happen. We have so much to look at. We have busing. We have the spacing in the schools. There's a reason that we have one school on each side of the town that are 4-track. The other schools, we couldn't build any larger than we had on the grounds that we had. We need this space. Making sure that the principals, the teachers, the administration, everybody has to be fully involved. And I think that most important thing is that we have to target real goals, including busing. Okay? We have a really good formula here, and Mr. Chandler with our IT and Mrs. Walton with our transportation coordination here. They can tell you at any given time. It's an interactive map. It dots where every single student lives, so it's always up to date. It's real time. That they're able to work and coordinate, getting numbers about what they anticipate for each school, for each road, and then that goes to Durham. Durham puts it together. It comes back to that team. They make their approvals again. It then goes to the police to make sure of safety. Then it comes to the school committee to go through it and do the same exact thing. So I think that we really have to make sure that we keep our subcommittees in place. I think myself and Mrs. Feather did for the last one, and make sure that we're all involved. Every one of us, you know, can be part of this. And just a couple of things that are really important. We need to always ensure that we're offering all the assistance we can with the transition. That was shown in our last one that we just did, where we transitioned multiple students into classrooms. We looked at them as groups. We didn't just take some and move them around. We looked at what their, you know, neighborhoods were, what they were with their siblings. You know, we looked at everything that we could to try to accommodate everything we can, so when it happens, we keep as many of those students together. One of the things that I found really surprising, well, maybe not so surprising, when this report was done, it did concentrate a lot on the social emotional side of things. We all know that mental health on everybody is going to play into these decisions and the movements. But in all of the groups and all the studies they did, they had about one child for every 9 or 10 children that was relocated that had to go through extra and have extra care put around them to balance and to acclimate them to their new area. And as far as the loss of students moving to other districts, going to private schools, whatever it may be, they said that there was virtually no impact. The numbers stayed the same. People weren't leaving the district. People weren't going to private schools because of this. And the sales of homes and adjustments of home pricing were not impacted at all. So it's a really good study, and if we go into it with a positive momentum, I think that we can take this forward and work with all the families to make sure it's going to be a nice bridge for everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Smith. Anyone else?
Yeah, I would actually just like to say, we have great schools here in Cumberland, whether you're south of 295 or north of 295. And there's been wonderful, wonderful professionals that have come out of all of these schools. And that's primarily based on the support of the school committee here, as well as the administrators in each of the buildings. Also, too, moving forward, when we start talking about redistricting, please keep in mind that we have special populations that do get bused from District 1 up to District 4. We have kids that are coming from the tip of North Cumberland all the way down to Valley Falls, because those schools are able to provide those kids those services. Yes, I understand it's not feasible to some families, and it's difficult to have to, you know, leave from one building to another, but we do have kids that are on long bus rides each and every single day, but they are thriving. And that's because they have great supports in our schools, and we have a great curriculum here in Cumberland. And I just want to make sure that we all are on board and we're all on the same page moving forward when it comes to this topic. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Shea. Any other discussion? So, Dr. Thornton, just to make sure that I'm reiterating this correctly, summer of 2026 will evaluate redistricting for the school year of 2027 based on the student population, based where the number of students and where they're located in the town.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you. Any other discussion? Okay, thank you. Discussion only Durham School Services announcement.
Quick announcement from Durham, Madam Chair. They have a new ownership. I Squared Capital is buying Durham. That will not change the bus logo. It'll still be Durham, same drivers, same folks in the office area, but the merger or the purchase will be completed over the summer. They just wanted to let us know that is taking place.
Thank you, Dr. Thornton. Appointment of building committee member? Oh, did I miss that? I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Discussion only, school bus camera update.
Yes, I heard from the police chief. He gave us some information from the bus camera program to date, and from late November through April, essentially we had 127 violations, averaging 20 per month. I say it again, 20. It seems shockingly high, but that is what our reality is. And that's factoring in, they do scrub the cameras for any like false positives, someone in the parking lot, behind the street, that kind of thing. These are actual violations, 20 per month on average. And I know I heard some folks in town talking about this. I just want to kind of clarify the record. The violation, I believe first offense, $250, and 3/4 of the fine goes to the company, 1/4 goes to the town. The schools don't get any proceeds. We get hopefully safer buses, right? But just to kind of clarify that. And the company, she had all the expense. We spent no money putting cameras on buses. That was all the company, no dollars expended by Cumberland for this program.
Excellent. Any discussion? Yes, Ms. Goldstein.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing the report. It was shocking to me to see how many violations there were. Some days more violations, some months more violations than there were active days of school. 24 violations in December. There were 14 days of school in December. 127 violations or citations in 105 days. It is shocking to see that, and I wish people would heed the arm that comes out and the blinking lights. That being said, are there patterns that we're seeing in terms of times of day, day of week, repeat offenders?
I don't have the detail, but I could certainly invite one of the folks at the Cumberland PD to come by and talk about that.
Any other discussion? Okay. Appointment of building committee member. So I might table this because I might put someone else on the building committee unless I need to decide right now.
You do not?
Okay. Discussion and or vote on recommendation to award the community elementary school project furniture, fixtures, and equipment package to WB Mason.
Good evening. Can you hear me well? Wonderful. Good evening, Madam Chair, committee members. I'm Rui Almeida. I'm the senior construction representative representing Collier's project leaders. I believe I've been now here 4 years plus with your community. First helping to start with swing space that has been housing 4 schools now, in and out, to get the schools done. And then after that, we went into... Sorry. My apologies. And then we segued into Garvin, Ashton, of which we took the lead also in the FF&E package, which I believe was a great success. And then this year, community. We are very pleased to present to you our recommendation to award the FF&E package for the community and elementary school interior renovations. I will say so much hard work during the past months has been dedicated to this package. The unwavering dedication and participation, especially of the teachers that participated and were involved, in particular, Cheryl Vaughn, the principal, who has dedicated so much time of her busy schedule to this package. Their vital role in producing their needs and their aspirations for the school was wonderful, helped us so very much. With this proposal, Community Elementary School, in our opinion, will acquire all of the furniture that it needs for the coming years and possibly decades. The almost endless work and negotiations has resulted in a high quality and very comprehensive package for this school. 2 firms submitted, as you see in the package, proposals for this RFP 2025-001, W. Mason Incorporated and Lakeshore Learning Materials, LLC. We therefore proudly present our recommendation to award this furniture, fixtures, and equipment full package to WB Mason Incorporated, the only qualified bidder, for the amount of $649,348.55 to be precise. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions? So I have a motion to, oh, I'm so sorry. Pleasure of the committee. Thank you very much.
I'll make a
No,
motion
wait.
to approve.
Motion by Ms. Smith,
Second.
Second by Ms. Feather. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes 6-0.
So much. Good
Thank
evening.
you. Discussion and a vote on recommendation to award the multiple school projects, pre-K center, upper level high school, and middle school science classroom, furniture, fixtures, and equipment package to WB Mason.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Amory Andrade, Senior Project Manager from Collier's Project Leaders. On behalf of the Cumberland School Department, Collier's Project Leaders, we solicited proposals for furniture, fixtures, and equipment for the multiple school project interior renovations. Those projects entail the pre-K center, the upper level high school, North Cumberland Middle School, and McCourt Middle School Science Lab renovations. We received 2 proposals, one from WB Mason Company Incorporated and Hertz Furniture. Based on our evaluation and thorough investigation looking through the proposals, along with our project team, the designers as well, it is our recommendation to award the furniture, fixtures, and equipment for the multiple school projects to WB Mason Incorporated in the amount of $405,458.25.
Any questions? The pleasure of the committee?
Motion to approve, sorry.
I have a motion by Ms. Feather,
Second.
second by Ms. Shea. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? That passes 6-0. Next on the agenda, discussion and a vote on recommendation to award pre-K/upper level high school renovation project guaranteed maximum price GMP to Allberg Construction.
Again, so I'm here as well to make the recommendation to award the guaranteed maximum price for the pre-K center and upper level high school interior renovation to Allberg Construction Incorporated of Warwick, Rhode Island, in the amount not to exceed $3,233,329.00. We are accompanied by Glenn Allberg as well in the audience, if you have any questions. We had provided a thorough package to the committee with the breakdown of the estimate of the guaranteed maximum price. Based on Allberg Construction's evaluation of the enclosed proposal, it is our recommendation from Colliers to recommend that award to Allberg Construction.
Thank you. Any questions? Pleasure of the committee?
Motion.
Motion by Ms. Shea,
Second.
second by Ms. Smith. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? That passes 6-0. Thank you. Discussion and a vote on recommendation to award North Cumberland Middle School Science Lab renovations, guaranteed maximum price to Allberg Construction.
Okay. Me again. Similar package, we've provided you with a proposal and our recommendation to award Allberg Construction for the guaranteed maximum price for North Cumberland Middle School Science Lab interior renovation projects in the amount of $1,556,631.00. Again, based on Allberg Construction's evaluation of the enclosed proposal and estimate breakdown, it is our recommendation from Collier's Project Leaders to award the guaranteed maximum price to Allberg Construction Incorporated of Warwick, Rhode Island.
Thank you. Any questions? The pleasure of the committee? Motion by Ms. Smith. Second by Ms. Goldstein. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes 6-0. Discussion and or vote on recommendation to award McCourt Middle School Science Lab renovations guaranteed maximum price to Allberg Construction.
This is our last one. We have a lot of projects this summer going into construction, but it's an honor to be here to present these to you. So again, the motion, our recommendation from Collier's project leaders is to award the guaranteed maximum price for McCourt Middle School Science Lab interior renovations to Allberg Construction Incorporated of Warwick, Rhode Island, in the amount of $1,158,423.00. Again, based on Allberg Construction's evaluation of the enclosed proposal and estimate breakdown of the guaranteed maximum price, GMP, it is our recommendation from Collier's project leaders to award this work to Allberg Construction.
Thank you. Any questions? The pleasure of the, oh, I'm so sorry.
Not a
Ms. Feather?
question from me. I just wanted to say thank you all for being here. Appreciate it, and really appreciate your thoroughness with which you've done all this work. And motion to approve.
Thank you, Ms. Feather. I have a motion by Ms. Feather,
Second.
second by Ms. Shea. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes 6-0. Thank you very much for your time. It's
Thank you very
appreciated.
much.
Discussion and a vote to approve resolutions. Ms. Smith?
Thank you. During the fiscal subcommittee meeting earlier this evening, we did have resolutions that were discussed, and all of them did pass 3-0. I do want to point out number SCPR 05-2025-38. This is the LED lighting replacement. I believe we've spoke about it a few weeks back, or about a month or so back, where you can't get the bulbs anymore, right? You have to phase out the whatever you call it. That's it. To the LED lighting. So thank you, Mrs. Feather, for knowing words that I can't think tonight. So we've had a difficult time. We've had to price out and look at replacing our lighting. This is going to be in our 2 middle schools, in our high school. Most of the elementaries are all set. As we've gone through construction, there may be some that we'll have to deal with afterwards, but it's not a lot. So our finance director, Mr. McGrath, had gone out, and I'm sure with Mr. DeGiges as well, for our facilities director, have worked together to find an opportunity for us on this. So I think this is really important to point out, because when I first looked at it, I said, I don't want to approve this, $742,000, that's crazy. We can't be putting this into our budget. But as they went on to explain to me that these replacements and the way that it's going to be managed is it's coming through a 48-month loan for 0%. The cost is going to be $15,526 per month. The savings estimation, I guess they came in pretty high at first, and everybody says, oh, we're going to have great savings. And Mr. McGrath did go back and say, now give me the real numbers. They do estimate that our savings could be about $17,800 a month. Even if we were just a little bit below that, or we're flat to the cost, and we're getting a 0 interest loan for the 48 months, we're coming out ahead of it. We're going to get what we need. There's a 5-year warranty, 100% on it. They say that the lifespan is through 10 years anyways. So I think that it's a really good deal and a really good opportunity. And I want to say thank you to both our facilities and our finance director for spending so much time in finding great solutions with no funding issues in our budget. All right, so that was it. So we have SCPR 05-2025, I gotta see this now, -33 through -38. And again, they all passed in the fiscal subcommittee 3-0, and I would move passage of all.
Thank you, Ms. Smith. Ms. Smith makes a motion to pass resolutions SC-PR-05-2025-33 through SC-PR-2025-38. Do I have a second? Second by Mr. Dean. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes 6-0. Discussion and/or vote to approve payment of bills. Ms. Smith?
Yes, we did have payment of the bills earlier in the fiscal subcommittee, and this did pass 3-0. Payment of the bills in the amount of $1,337,441.09, and I would move passage on payment of the bills as well.
Thank you, Ms. Smith. Ms. Smith makes a motion to approve the payment of the bills in the cost of $1,337,441.09. Do I have a second? Second by Mr. Dean. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes 6-0. Dr. Thornton, do we need to go back into executive session?
We do not.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Motion by Ms. Shea,
Second.
second by Ms. Feather. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? We adjourn tonight's meeting at 8:17 PM on May 8th, 2020.